Good morning from a very humid Saturday morning here in Florida. Today we're doing some driving impressions on the Lightning. Got the Rivian right there, charging up for a road trip family's gonna do later on today. So right now I'm gonna drive the Lightning a little bit across town, do some both street and highway driving, and do some charging. We're gonna hit that Alpatronic EA station I did the Rivian on about a month or two ago when they opened it. So we'll see how this guy charges. Right now it's at a pretty low state of charge, 18%. So kept it down there so we can hopefully make it to the EA at a pretty low state of charge to see just how high it'll ramp. So stay tuned. As a quick reminder, this is the 2025 Lightning Flash. So extended range battery pack, have the 20-inch kind of aero wheels they have. Aero options on both, I'd say. To note, this is not the typical 131 kilowatt hour usable pack. This is actually 123. So there will be, I'd assume, a slight loss in range on the window sticker. It goes from 320 miles to 300 miles EPA estimated. So yeah, no range test today yet because it's already pretty low. We're just gonna make our way to the charging station and yeah, see how she does. And we are on our way. So yeah, about 16 miles to the EA station. We have 47 miles of range left at 18%. So we'll see what state charge when we get there. But as far as the driving, man, this thing drives super well, especially for a pickup truck. I mean, it's been years since I was last in the pickup truck. My last experience driving a pickup was years ago. I think I had a 18 or 19 GMC Sierra. It was like SLE or SLT, one of their lower trims. And the suspension on that was really stiff. So even the gas trucks these days, especially the Fords, for some reason, they just ride so smoothly. Before I picked up this truck specifically, they were still finalizing all the tax credit and stuff. Still not, they don't know why it took so long. But while they're finalizing it all, they gave me a gas XLT F-150. And even that one, the suspension is so plush, it's wild. Like, you know, it just glides over speed bumps. Here's another one. Easy. Like, it feels less aggressive over a speed bump than the R1S does, and it has air suspension. So they really got the tuning done for, you know, bumping response or even pothole response. It's super, super light. And it's interesting how well they've made it similar to the gas 750 that has a solid axle rear setup, while this has an independent rear suspension setup. So usually those feel quite different. For example, when the Chevy Suburban historically always had a solid axle on the back for their suspension setup. For the T1 platform, they switched to independent rear suspension for the first time, and you could immediately tell how much softer the ride was. Going from the gas truck to this truck, they're both really good. Almost hard to tell if you're not familiar. Like if you have like a blind test, some may not be able to figure out which one's gas, which one's Lightning. But that's a good problem. Acceleration wise, of course, this has the extended range battery pack, so it still has the 3.8 0 to 60, which is wild for a pickup truck, especially a full size pickup truck. And interestingly, I wonder if they had more weight in the front, because every time I'd floor it, the front wheels just spin so much. Like, they don't have enough grip. They have enough grip to get you going, but I really wonder if there were more weight in the front, could the 0-60 be even higher? Because literally every time, without fail, you spin the front tires. If you go to sport mode, you'll spin all 4 tires. It's super cool the amount of power this thing has. I was just towing with it yesterday, and from a powertrain standpoint, couldn't tell I was towing a trailer. I was towing about 4,000 pounds, and literally couldn't tell a thing. Only thing that would remind me is my mirrors, of course, and the occasional rumbling in the back, because part of the trailer I was hauling, part of the time I was on the trailer was empty, so it was kind of bouncing around back there. But yeah, it's just so good. Such a good daily driver. I'm passing through a kind of half urban, half residential area, and it's so good. Here's a empty road I can give a little power on. spin the front tires again, some torque steer. So cool. The fact that it's faster than my Rivian, I got the base powertrain, so I have just the regular dual motor, non-performance, 4.50 to 60. This has a 3.8, and you can definitely tell a difference. Maybe I'll get a performance upgrade for the Rivian one day, but I'd probably get the Large Plus pack upgrade first before I get performance upgrade. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, acceleration, you always have power on the tap. And another comparison for when I was driving my the loaner they gave me, the gas one, it had the EcoBoost, I think EcoBoost V6, and my gosh, what a lethargic engine. Like, I'll hit the gas and I can sit, I can read an article, I can eat lunch, I can take a nap before it even starts accelerating. About to hop on the highway in a bit so we can get some highway thoughts. But the last little bit of road we have here, super good. Here's a pothole, barely felt it. It just glides over it. It's amazing what they can do with regular coil suspension. Even the Expedition, I rode in a 25 Expedition in an Uber recently while I was out of town for work, and even that wasn't as soft as this. And part of it might be due to the weight. Historically, the heavier the vehicle, the less stiff the suspension will react because it's holding so much more weight. But again, it felt just like the gas one. So it's pretty interesting how they did it. All right, we are getting on the highway now. It'll be a little bit of highway driving while we head to the EEA station. Not too much wind noise or road noise. Well, about practically no road noise and very minimal wind noise for such a big vehicle. And I'm pretty sure that's across all of the F-Series lineup. They seem to have gotten their drag pretty well. You do hear some wind. I'm going 80 right now, so of course you'll hear wind, but way less than another car or another bigger truck. Road noise and road feel, like road vibrations, are almost neither, and that could be due to two things. Could be due to the suspension, or in addition to that, it could be due to the 20-inch wheels I have versus the larger 22-inch wheels you can get on the Platinum. I also want to try out the 18-inch wheels that you get on the XLT and Pro. I've been going back and forth on what second set of wheels I want to get, whether I'd get some 22s for my Platinum, because they look super cool, but I'll have less range and likely a bit harsher of a ride. Or I go the opposite way and go get some 18s from a used, or like used set of 18s from a Pro or XLT, and probably have an even softer ride. Range, I'd be curious about, because they don't have an aerodynamic kind of aero covered design like the 20s do, but since they're smaller and potentially lighter, might still see some range benefits. So definitely curious about that. Maybe that'll be the route I go. Also, I don't have a bed cover yet. Bed covers will also help with efficiency. I've been still shopping around for one. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go with a folding one or a rolling one, but that'll happen pretty soon, hopefully. All right, well, while we're on the highway, we gotta test one of the most important parts of Ford's ADAS system that they have on here, Blue Cruise. So we're gonna go ahead and press the button here, and Blue Cruise is on. So with Blue Cruise, you got no hands, of course, and you have full signaling for lane changing, I believe. Funny enough, I do not use Blue Cruise enough. It was giving me a put hands on the steering wheel warning, and I had my hands on. I was like gripping it, and it still said grab the wheel. So we'll see. We'll get on the turnpike in about a mile or two, and then after that, hopefully it's maybe it's not as confident. This is 417 after all, and 417 has given me issues for all three major ADASs, whether it be Tesla's FSD, especially earlier ones. Rivian Driver Plus and hands-free most recently also kind of has a stroke here, because always under construction. And so it seems like Blue Cruise is also, but I don't think it's any fault to the manufacturers, at least directly. This highway is always different. It's always a different traffic pattern. They're always redoing some lane. It's wild. So the turnpike is a lot more steady, a lot less variables. So we'll try out Blue Cruise when we get to there. But yeah, rides super well. 417 is also known as a pretty rough ride. They've repaved some of it, but going over the bumps and stuff like that, not much, not many notes, which is a good thing. Basically, right on par with the Rivian. Well, in certain areas, the Rivian will excel for its air suspension. However, in some areas, the Rivian will actually feel worse. It'll actually feel more stiff or more fatiguing, especially when turning. Like, especially the most recent suspension tuning from their update about a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, the Rivian likes to like roll, like the body roll is like increased tenfold when you turn now. It's weird. Like it feels like if you're on off-road mode, because it does have increased roll in off-road mode, it seems like they brought that to all-purpose mode, which is pretty weird. About to get on the turnpike now, and hopefully we can try Blue Cruise again. So far, our efficiency is 1.8. Oh, just dropped to 1.7 miles per kilowatt hour. I am kind of pushing it because I'm trying to get my charge a bit lower, so we can get to EA at the lowest possible state of charge without wasting too much time. So right now we're at 13% with about 5.5 miles left to our destination, 33 miles estimated range left. All right, we are on hands-free Blue Cruise. Yeah, thing just had a stroke for 417. Literally every car I've tested does that, so no fault to the vehicle. So hands-free, they have infrared sensors here and in the door for attention. You can go full hands-free. And compared to FSD, I can actually check my mirrors and stuff without it yelling at me. Usually FSD will, not recently, they've fixed the nags on it recently, but before, for the longest time, I want to check my mirrors, which I'm supposed to do, I would get a nag and sometimes a strike potentially for checking my mirrors like a safe driver should. Does really well, almost no ping-ponging, which is nice. There's a teeny tiny bit of ping-pong right now. I'm curious if it's following the Ram in front of me because the Ram is ping-ponging really bad. I hope he's not like texting and driving or something. But it's really solid. It has really good, oh yep, I know, driving range low, I'm aware. It has really good throttle response too. Like it won't just like floor it when like, the car in front of you leaves. It will regen pretty hard though if someone cuts in front of you, even if it's at a long distance. They get in front of you and the car will go, ugh! And so we're about to reach our exit here, so I'm going to turn off Blue Cruise. One thing I'll go probably over the UI in a more direct or more focused video. But one of the things I always focus on when looking at a vehicle is the safety aspect of how I interact with it. I've historically not really liked my Model 3's interface because I, one, don't have a gates cluster. You have to look to my right. Two, and this is unfortunately a trend for many EVs these days, the AC controls or other, quick controls that are usually muscle memory in a regular car are in a menu or require multiple taps. That's why in my original video when I was still shopping for Lightning, I was saying, I want the XLT or Pro because it has buttons, just a regular small screen and then buttons. And ended up having to go for a Flash to get the other non-negotiables needed, which were Pro Power, and B&O sound system and extended range battery pack. You can no longer get an XLT with an extended range pack. So I was more or less, for reasons of what spec I wanted, forced to go with the Flash, which has the long vertical screen. A lot of people like it. I am not the biggest fan, and one of the reasons of that is because of how I have to interact with it. So thankfully the radio is just a turn away, just turn up and down. AC is where I have an issue because I have to tap the AC icon and then turn the wheel up or down. Or I have to tap the AC icon a couple times, and the more I tap it, the higher it goes. What I want is just a knob that I can just turn without looking. I can focus on the road. Oh, it's getting a little bit too hot in here. I'm gonna turn up the AC a notch. Hellcat couldn't stand it. Couldn't hold a chance. Anyway, yeah, he's reffing now. He's showing off. So yeah, the AC just, it's not as bad as the Tesla where I have to tap on the screen and then continue tapping as many times as I want to increase the fan speed or decrease it. And not to mention they changed the UI like every 6 months for some reason. This is the least, I'll say, frustrating. It's the same issue for the Rivian where I have to tap the temperature, open the menu, and then tap on the fan speed. I just want a knob. This solves half of that. I have to tap on the fan, and then I can use the central volume knob to control the HVAC speed. So they're halfway there, but I just want a knob that I can just control all the time, which is why I prefer the lower trims. But had to find one trade-off, and the trade-off to get the range I wanted and the speakers I wanted I had to go with the vertical screen. Again, most people like it. I'm not the biggest fan. One thing I am a fan about from a control standpoint is that the driver controls are exactly the same as a regular vehicle. I have a traditional signal stock. I have a traditional shifter. I have normal wiper controls, light controls on the dash down here. It behaves like a regular vehicle, which is my favorite part. I love EVs that don't act like EVs because it's kind of funny. And in my mind, it's safer. I don't like everything moving to a screen or moving to buttons on the wheel like my sim rig at home. I like traditional controls. I like a traditional signal, traditional buttons on the wheel that are just the important ones. A shifter I can use just like normal. I can shift in the park. I can go in reverse without doing a little flick. I mean, the flicks are fine, but not without having to do the little wacky screen shifting that the S and X started, and now all of the entire lineup now does for Tesla. Yeah, do not like that. I like that we have traditional interaction equipment, and it's basically backwards compatible with other Ford accessories too, like from a shifter standpoint. Brandon Flash, another EV reviewer and a YouTuber, he replaced the shifter in his Lightning with a knob, and it was perfectly intercompatible. And it makes me wonder. I'm a big column shifter fan, like not like the low stock one, like in the Rivian or Teslas, but an actual column shifter. You're going up and down like this, like the Suburbans used to have. The Fords still have the gas ones. I wonder if I can retrofit that into here. That'll be a fun project. But yeah, I love that we have just regular, standardized interaction. No need to have a little learning curve. If you're coming from a gas F-150 or even a gas other truck, most, if not all, of the functions you're gonna do in here will kind of just translate right to this truck. Like, you won't have any learning curve like most would going from a regular truck to a Cybertruck or even a Rivian. This is perfect. No learning curve required. Also, I've noticed the steering is a lot looser. It's same steering rack setup as the gas one as well. A lot more loose of a steering rack than the Rivian. I didn't realize how tight the steering of the Rivian was until I drove this for a while. Oh, the sun's in my face. So I drove this for a while and then drove the Rivian for a small trip a couple days ago. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this steering is super stiff. It felt like you can change the stiffness of your steering in Teslas from easy one to a standard or sport one. Sport is heavier, and I used to always have my Model 3 on the sporty one. But yeah, it's super awesome, super loose, not fatiguing at all. And we are now arriving at the Alpatronic chargers for this EA station, and only 2 people are parked here, so I can pull right in, which is great. We'll drive down here really quick at the nearby supercharger. Have 2 Cybertrucks charging next to each other. That's pretty cool. New Model Y and 2 previous gen Model Ys, and a BMW on a tow truck. No surprise there. All right, let's loop around, and we're gonna head to EA. Now, typically I still only charge, at least primarily, I still only charge on the Tesla supercharger network just because of the reliability. But Alpatronic stations, I will happily charge here. All right, slight technical difficulty. I thought I was recording the whole time when I plugged it in and started the charge, but it turns out it was not recording. Yeah. Anyway, we are at 163 at 16%. When we started the charge, it was at 150. It peaked at 150 or 161. And then now we're jumping a little bit more. That was 11%. Now we're at 16. So what I was saying, well, I thought I was recording. I'm gonna try to sit here till we reach 85 to 90%. I want to see how long it takes to get there. It's estimating about an hour right now. I also want to see how long we'll hold this 160s to 150s curve, or height, before we start tapering down to 120 and then under 100. So stay tuned for that. We'll see how this thing does. We have the best charger station to do it. So all right, we're at 30% at 136 kilowatts so far. Quick check-in. Doing pretty good. Also, its estimation has gone down about 14 minutes. It was saying 9:02, now we're at 8:48. So we'll see. Up down to 122. We're actively seeing a bit of a drop. I wonder if it's due to temperature, It is wildly humid out here and hot in Florida. The 81 feels like 100 right now. My gosh. But let's see. We're not like dropping. 121 is still good as long as it holds it for a long time. So we'll keep watching. All right, we're at 45%. At 122 still. We are still sitting right where we were for a while, about 15% ago. So still holding strong. Playing around with the iOS 25 version of CarPlay. I have the beta on my 16E here. And so, whoop, there it goes. Pretty good. Quick little look at it. Looks pretty good. All right, next check-in. We are at 121 kilowatts still at 62. Oh, like I said earlier, really reliable, really flat charge curve. This is great. All right, at 66%, had our first big drop down to 84. All right, 73 at 69%. We just had a boost. We're still going up, still going. Wait 100. Oh. Wait 100. Nope. But yeah, got a decent boost at the end. Pretty good. Just missed it. It was at 112 kilowatts at 77. Dropping back down decently hard. Probably back down to the 70s. Yep. Go ahead on camera, but this phone is currently overheating and it's lagging a lot. Average iPhone. All right, 81%. We are sitting around, if this phone will focus, there we go, 58 kilowatts. 81%. So we're still dropping down. Set the limit to 90%. Oh, here we go, 82%. Set the limit to 90%, so we have about 10-ish minutes. It's 8:48, 8:42 right now on the clock, 8:58 S-mid, so yeah, not too long remaining. Charge curve has been pretty good. I'm pretty satisfied with this so far. As we reach our limit of 90, we are at 89%. At 51%, dang it, 51 kilowatts at 89%. We're just about to finish. Super good charging experience here. I mean, I've been here before, but last time in the Rivian, I saw Lightning parked right over there. One of the Alpatronic service people, I believe, or EA. And yeah, ignore all the dirt here. The yard I dropped off the trailer at yesterday was full of gravel. All right. Will we hit 90% at 50? Let's see. We're also finishing ahead of schedule. Says 8:57, was saying a bit later earlier, and it's only 8:53. So we actually finished a bit faster. About all in all, about an hour, give or take, for our 11% to 90% charge. Unless it takes 5 minutes to go to 90, which I doubt. There we go, 90%. And that's it, we are done. Understandable, drops to 40 for 90%. Makes sense. Whoop. Pretty good curve. Pretty good curve indeed. Well, that does it for our charging and pretty much driving impressions. Let me know what else you want to see tested from this. These are the 20-inch wheels I was talking about. They have some road all-terrain tires as well, which are pretty good. Installed some mud flaps here as well. Running boards, and I'll quickly show you what I was talking about. 2 Cybertrucks arrived. Wonder if they're a demo. Oh gosh, that's gotta hurt. Anyway, let me show you what I was talking about for the AC. So for this, you have to tap once and then you can turn the knob, or you can continue tapping it like that. So it's close enough. I still would like just a dedicated knob, but unfortunately you can't get that in this trim. It's too high of a trim. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. about the driving. Do you have a Lightning? What do you think about this driving? Its charging? Do you have a standard pack, one of the older extended range packs? Yeah, let me know. Thanks for watching.